everybody, welcome back to Young at Heart Adventures. Today we're going to be hooking up our Mini Cooper for 4-down towing. If you guys watch our channel, you know that we typically pull our car on a tow dolly trailer, and it was always such a hassle to hook things up and get up underneath there. And we finally have a car that's set up for 4-down towing, and we finally have a Blue Ox towing system here. Okay, so the first step is we have our little box here. First step is we're going to put the towing bars into the car. I'm not sure what they're really called, but it's so simple. They just go in like this and snap. And when you hear it click, you'll hear it click, you know it's good to go. Okay, this is the Blue Ox towing bar, and what we had to do was get a 4-inch drop down, which is, you can normally put the Blue Ox right in your receptacle here, but because the Mini Cooper is so low to the ground, it was actually going downhill, and so everybody suggested getting a drop down. It should be fairly level going back to your car, just with maybe a slight drop, but not a big drop like we had. So this is something you may or may not need depending on what car you're towing. I'm going to take this off. This just lifts up like this and comes out, and these will stretch out to match your car. Okay, so next step is I'm going to drive the car up closer to the hookup point. Nice thing is you just have to get this close. It doesn't have to be perfectly centered, and it doesn't have to be on a perfectly level spot like when we had our tow dolly. Everything had to be level, had to be perfectly straight in order to hook it up, so that's why it was always so difficult. So it says up, so you don't want to have it this way. It's going to go this direction, and that just, these things all move, so you can just kind of guide it in there, put the pin in, and then like that. And then the second one, do the same thing. Might be a little bit too close, so I'm just going to back the car down about 1 inch or 2 so that's going to fit in there. I can just stretch it up to where I need to go, just kind of jiggle it around to get it to go through, and then secure it with that, and that's good to go. Now as we start to drive, or I'm going to let the car go backwards, these will stretch out and click and lock. And with the Blue Ox, you only need to have one or both of them click before you can go. They'll both click as you drive, and they'll lock in the extended position, but you just have to have one of them click while you're hooking up. The next step is to hook up these safety cables in case the thing would come loose. It's going to keep your car behind you. And what they recommend is to go under the bar and cross to the other side. So I'll do this way, and this one will go here. This is going to go under the bar, cross to the other side. Okay, the next step is to hook up the power cable. This is just going to be plugging right into the back here and plugging right into the front of your car. This will run your brake lights, your running lights, your turn signals, so that the traffic behind you can see what you're doing, and also will power our braking system, which I'll show you in a few minutes here. So this one, should go on the top and up over the bar, not under it, and then just goes in like that. And the last step is to hook up the breakaway cable, and this hooks into your, this is just really a switch, and it hooks to your braking system. There we go. So So it just goes in like this, and should the whole thing come loose, it will pull that out and it will tell your braking system to stop the car. So it's just a last minute safety feature. And that should just hook to, technically it should hook to, not hook to this, because if this whole thing came loose, it's not going to help. But I really don't have anything convenient to hook it to, so for now I'm just going to hook it here. But what they recommend is hooking it to something on your RV that's not going to break away, so that it would pull that switch out in the event that the whole thing came loose. The next step is we're just going to back the car down a little bit until one of these clicks. And since we're on a hill here, I might be able to just put it in neutral and let it drift back.
Click.
This is a 6-speed manual transmission, so we have to remember to keep it in neutral and take the brake off before we try to travel. The next step is, this is the Patriot 3 supplemental braking system from Blue Ox, and that's just going to sit in between the seat and your brake pedal. And what happens is, as it senses the momentum of the car slowing down, it'll automatically push the brake on. So there's really no hookup to the brake lights or anything. It just goes by the momentum of the car. And in the RV itself, we have a little remote thing that shows you when the brakes are being applied, when they're not being applied, and you can also manually control the brakes if ever you need to do that. And then you can turn this little thing to lock it. And then what you do is you move your seat up until it touches the base of it like that. So then what we're going to do is we're going to plug it in. Now this has been wired to be hooked to the RV power so that it's not draining the battery in this car. These Patriots also have a supplemental battery that if you would lose power, they will run for some period of time on the battery. But that shouldn't happen if we plug it in like that. And the next step is we just power on and we press the setup button. And what it does is it will automatically calibrate to your car's braking system. And that's it, you're ready to go. Okay, so one final check. She's going to pull the RV forward. We're going to make sure this second one clicks in and make sure the wheels are turning freely. There's not the, you know, just to make sure we didn't leave the emergency brake on or something like that. So we give her the signal to go ahead. There it goes. Did you see that one click? So they're both clicked up in the extended position. Wheels are turning freely and we are ready to go.
Left, look good. Right. That's working. Brakes. All right.
No, not your head, your arm. Look out for the truck! Always remember, trailer brakes first. Trailer brakes first.
So inside we have a little monitor that will tell you when the brakes are being applied. Like as you're slowing down, you'll see that go up. It also lets you set the force level up or down based on the car you have. Ours is set to 4. And the other thing is, if you need to apply the brakes manually, you can just press this button and it will apply the brakes manually.
Red light! Red light! Trailer brakes! Look, just keep repeating to yourself, trailer brakes first, trailer brakes first. Make it your motto.
And it will also give you any kind of errors if the brakes lose power or there's some kind of malfunction. It will let you know as well.
Here she is, following us.
Still back there?
It's still there.
All right, let me know if it drops off. I think it's gonna rain.
I think so. Sure looks like it. We made it and no rain.
Arriving at Natural Bridge KOA holiday.
Really on a hill here, isn't it?
It is.
Ah, there we go. Natural Bridge, Virginia. We must be at the right one.
Ooh.
Well, we made it to our destination here at Natural Bridge, Virginia, KOA. And so now it's time to unhook the car. And of course, you just basically reverse everything that I showed you before. We're going to start off with the braking system. I'll just power that off right here. Move the seat back and then unplug it. And then I have to just get in and unhook it from the brake pedal. There we go. Okay, so first step, we're just going to take this emergency cable off. Power. Of course, because we're filming, everything is tangled. It takes twice as long. Okay, now because we're on this hill and the car is trying to drift back, it's probably going to be not possible to unhook this. So I'm going to drive the car forward just an inch or so to take the pressure off before we try to unrelease it. Don't forget to put the car in gear and put the emergency brake on before you do this part, so it doesn't drift away on you as soon as you unhook it. Yeah, so we had to drive the car forward a little bit while Lori held this down just to compress it a little bit so there wasn't so much tension on there, and now that should pull right out. If you're on a hill or whatever, then sometimes it's going to put a bind on it. It's going to be harder to get out. Then these just go like this. This just goes up in here like this. Stores in that position. And you can put the cover back on. Good as new, ready to drive. So honestly, this is only the second time we've done this, so maybe we did some things right or wrong. I'm not sure. If you have some suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. But hopefully you guys found this to be helpful because it is certainly a lot easier than the tow dolly. We actually wouldn't have been able to do the tow dolly on this hill like this. You have to get up underneath and unhook chains. You have to put the ramps on. It's just really a hassle, and we'd always have to find another place to do it before we bring it in. So this worked out really well, and it was much more convenient. So thank you guys for watching. See you in the next video.